Alright, back again, Luke here. And today we've got out the old Panic Custom Control Box Super Gun, and I figured we could put in this game here, Edward Randy. So, let's pop this on and play some of that. Now, before we take a look at this game here, I'm sure you guys could notice there were about a million little blue dots on the board. The main reason for that is those were all components that I've replaced on this board. Long story short, I wound up buying this board off the internet. It was listed as having issues or having some problems with it, but the screenshot that they had used for the board was actually the title screen. It was actually showing the original title. So I thought, okay, at least it's booting to the title. The board was quite expensive. I paid a bit too much for it, I believe, at the time, but when I received it, powered it on, it did absolutely nothing. I contacted the seller, and the seller said, you know, didn't you read the description? It says not working. I said, yeah, and I noticed that there was a screenshot. Was it working before? And the seller admitted that it was just a stock photo that he had put up there. So it's like, all right, well, we got a bit of a problem here with this board. When I went through it, I've been working on this over the course of a year. I've given up on it like 2 or 3 times just because it's been frustrating. The board was completely rotten. A lot of the components were damaged, and each component that I repaired on it seemed to lead to another component that failed. So just to give you guys an idea here, this is going to be just kind of looking through the phone, unfortunately. But it's like I said, it's been over the course of a year. So there were already jumpers on this at one point that were trying to jump different graphic ROMs, and the ROMs didn't work. LS157s, there's a lot of buffers. The custom CPUs on this, 2 or 3 of them were completely damaged, so it wasn't able to fire up. It didn't do anything. I wound up replacing the CPUs off of donor boards. Replacing RAM, finally got the board to boot, and it booted with background graphics, serious background graphics going here, and totally missing. Tried to repair a little bit more, got some more of the background graphics here. You can see all of the different components. The red dots were the suspicious areas that were left. The blue dots were the ones that were already replaced, and the yellow ones were kind of testing areas to figure out what was what. Once again, you can see some of this missing background graphics. This one here, this is where the title screen was kind of coming back together, but once again, just too much garbage in the background. A few more chips replaced here, and finally got the board to display proper graphics. But overall, I mean, the entire board was almost 75 or 80% replaced. Now, a few of these chips I wound up replacing just because I had replaced so many other chips. It was only a matter of time, I figured, before the other ones wound up burning out. So since it already had a lot of new components on it, I figured might as well go ahead and put on the other new components with it. So it's almost, in a way, a new board. There are still a few graphic chips that are still on there, the EEPROMs, but everything else, or the mask ROMs, yeah, it's basically new. So I figured we'd do a little bit of gameplay on it and show you guys how this thing works now. And just got it repaired yesterday. But now there may be some flashing here. This is just trying to sync up with my monitor, so don't worry about that. That's not actually a glitch. It's just the syncing issue here. And there may be some reflection, but let's see if we can turn this up a little more. As you can see, we do have graphics again. And there we've got it. So one of the main reasons for saving this board here was just because it's a rare board, and it's one that I always wanted to play, never had the chance, but so let's give it a shot here. As you can see, it kind of has a bit of an Indiana Jones theme to it. The graphics are quite unbelievable. I mean, for its time, it was quite amazing. Probably the most difficult point about this is that the whip and stuff can kind of get you tossed around here left and right a little bit too much. You can wind up falling off quite easily or whatnot, but just beautiful graphics. Whoa! But you can see here, you can kind of save yourself quite a little bit. foreground and background graphics are just amazing on this game.
Probably gonna wind up dying here, but
let's start it up. I kind of put the difficulty up a little bit more too, just because on easy difficulty it's a bit too easy. It's still easy to kind of like one credit clear this, but graphics, sound effects, just amazing. But as you can see, the game here is working well. I'm really glad to have the graphics back on this, but man, it took forever just to get this thing going again. Be careful buying boards online that look suspicious, stock photos and things like that. You really gotta watch out, because there are a lot of people out there trying to get rid of some junky stuff for expensive prices, and some of them just have no remorse about, you know, selling the junk. But really glad to have this thing, another piece of gaming history here, saved from the grave. These boards and stuff nowadays, I mean, a lot of them, which have been in operators' cabinets, or just been sitting out in old arcade cabinets for a long time, they have reached a point where the boards are getting a little bit more fragile. Most of them getting a lot of you know, corrosion on them over time. This was one that was no exception. So if you're in the market or trying to think about getting into arcade board collecting, definitely make sure that you try to take a look at some of these boards very carefully before you pick them up, because they are not always what they seem. As you can see here, I'm doing absolutely horrible. But just a really cool game. I mean, just gotta love the concepts. Like, some parts of the game are just really wild, like... Now you've done it! Wow! Got kind of kicked off here. But... nonetheless here, guys, just wanted to show you a bit of a look at what Edward Randy looks like here for the arcade. This is an extremely rare board nowadays. Very difficult to find, and more difficult to find in working condition. If you do come across it, you're looking at quite a lot of money for it. I think the average cost nowadays is well over maybe $700 on up. I've seen this board go for, you know, a couple, around $1,000, $1,500 as well. But these boards are quite a pain to work on here, especially if they're in really bad condition. But once they are working, just an amazing, you know, piece of history here, and one that really needs to be preserved, in my honest opinion. So, once again, like I said, not doing so well here, but yeah, trying to get through the old stack of boards that I have. Got a stack of different boards that need repairs, and they do take quite a bit of time nowadays. I just don't have the amount of time to put into them like I did last, you know, over the years, but it's getting there. Eventually hope to get most of them or all of them repaired. That way I don't have to and worry about the stack pile growing up, you know, just piling up here. But nonetheless, just want to share with you guys a little bit of a look at Edward Randy here, or the Cliffhanger Edward Randy for the arcade. And it's a pretty cool game. The controls, I'm not gonna lie, not the best controls, a little bit tricky with that, but graphic-wise, design, I think the game was really, there was a lot of thought, a lot of effort put into this game just to make it come about. And it's one of those boards that deserves to be saved here, so. But yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Watching some Indiana Jones-esque gaming here. This game is really well known for its beautiful 3D sections in the game. Just unbelievable. If you do have this available in MAME, or you find a MAME ROM for it, totally recommend picking it up. Here's some of that 3D scrolling here I was talking about. At the time, you gotta think about, like, 90s here. This is some pretty awesome stuff for back in the day. But definitely recommend giving this one a try here. I love the extreme screaming though. That's just so totally over the top here. Well, playing just a little bit longer, just so you guys can get a little bit more of a look at it. Run! Coming up on our boss here.
What's going on?
Just beautiful graphics, really. It's huge. Just some really awesome effects here. We'll play just a little bit more. But yeah, nonetheless here, if you guys have stuck on this long, then great. But yeah, we'll try and get some more video up here soon, and get some more arcade gaming and whatnot, repairs, etc. Take care, guys. We'll see you again here soon. Guess I'll let you see the introduction of maybe the next stage, but don't want to spoil too much. So just a little bit of a look here. You can do some pretty cool wheelies. You can open the door and knock the guys off their bikes here. But just some beautiful graphics. Really amazing. But I'll save the rest for you guys here to experience for yourselves. And we'll catch you again here soon. Take care.